It's like we knew what we were getting into, and then we still got into it.
What, the movie?
Indeed.
Joke.
It's a joke.
It's a joke.
Oh.
We watched Bicentennial Man.
1999.
1999. God, really?
Woo! Oh, jeez. We had never seen this movie before.
Oh yeah, we've never seen this.
Never.
No. I've never heard of it actually before we started doing this
No.
whole thing. We asked our dad. We asked our dad if he'd ever heard of it.
He works in the film industry.
Yeah, he does. And he looked at us confusedly until I mentioned that Robin Williams was in it, and then he was like, "I think I've heard of it."
This movie, it basically doesn't exist.
It's so bad.
It's not there, and yet it does exist.
It's weird.
Should it exist? I'm not sure. But we picked it because it's really about a robot. We watched that movie.
Yep.
And
it's 2 hours long.
It's 2 hours and 12 minutes long. And it hurts a lot. There's 2 movies in this movie.
Yep.
It's very clear. One movie starts at the beginning of the film and ends exactly halfway through. Right at that hour and 5 minute mark, the new movie starts.
Yep. It is a movie about a robot.
Which makes sense for us. That's what we're doing right now.
We're doing robots right now. It's a theme. It is a movie about a robot that... No, because that's the second half of the movie.
No. We're just talking about the first half of the movie right now.
Yeah.
That's all we're doing.
The first half of the movie is the robot figuring out his... No, that's the second half of the movie. Oh, God.
The thing we really need to know for the first half of the movie is that it's about a robot and a family, and about the robot learning how to be less of a robot.
Yeah, becoming is... Nope, that's the second movie.
The robot, they name him very quickly Andrew.
He's played by Robin Williams, which is,
Which is great.
Love the man.
Robin Williams, just being himself, does not fix the problems that are within this film.
No. Which is saying something, because he can really save a bad movie. The dad...
His name is Sir, by the way.
Yeah, he's credited as Sir. He has no name.
We're never told his name.
He's the guy from Jurassic Park. Sam Neill. He and Andrew, the robot, have the best chemistry in the whole movie.
When you look it up online, it will say this is a romance film. And we're here to tell you that the best chemistry is between the dad and the robot, which, by the way, is not the romance plot.
No. This is such a mess already. Let's keep going.
We just have to talk about the family dynamics, I guess, for a second. We're just dropped right into the family. And I guess that, they're not dysfunctional. They're fine as a family.
They're very rich.
Oh,
They are
the film
so rich.
The film wants you to know. It hopes, if nothing else, your big takeaway is that rich people are the people who get to own robots.
They are so rich.
They have... I didn't even look it up. What's it called?
What?
It's when you make a fake antique thing. God, I didn't look it up. Hold on a second. It's when you have a folly.
They have a folly.
Let's look up garden folly. That looks right. It's a folly. This originates out of Victorian England. To prove just how wealthy you were, you would pay someone to build you a fake ruin in your backyard. And these people have that.
The car told him his blood pressure. That's how rich they are.
By the way, where is it? How is it taking this measurement? It's not like he sits down and there's a thing wraps around his arm and starts measuring him. How is this taking? How?
This movie leaves me with quite a few questions.
Oh, so many questions. It doesn't feel futuristic when we start, really. It feels like we're in the 90s.
It feels like we're in the 90s.
That's not super crazy considering that they were only supposed to be 6 years into the future from 1999.
Yeah, It's supposed to be 2005.
They were very ambitious about our future.
Oh, God, were they? The family consists of a mother-father figure, 2 children, both girls, the older sister. I mean, I care about her, but you're not supposed to in the movie.
She's fun.
She's fun.
It's weird that I was about to say there's very few moments of fun in this film. Her outfit
is amazing.
The older version of her, not the younger where she's under her parents' control. Not that. No. Later, when she's with her
boyfriend,
partner, I don't know what he is. His boyfriend.
It's the guy from Zoolander. It is. It looks like him. No, that outfit though is amazing. It's like a jester costume of ye old English times, where it starts at like the boot and it goes all the way up to like right here at the rib cage.
She has a small jacket over it.
And a small jacket over it. Yeah. And it's striped and it's amazing. I
just don't understand.
I just wish she was in the movie more. And the dress she wore to her sister's wedding was also amazing.
It was.
It was like a weird crumpled mustard yellow thing.
It had the neckline of that was just awesome.
It's just awesome.
But she actually doesn't have much of a role other than to be the punk that she is.
All she really does is make it so that the robot is afraid of heights, and that's never brought up again. Because the movie likes doing that. It's bringing in plot points and going, oh, wouldn't this be an interest... No.
Like the dog. In the second film.
Next least important character... I'm gonna say the little girl. Little Miss.
Which he calls her for the rest of time until she dies.
Yeah.
She's a little patronizing, honestly.
She is cute as a child, rightfully scared of the robot. She does kickstart the robot's want to make art. That is important.
That's true.
I don't want to talk about when she's older and she's got a crush on the robot and it's
we'll get there. Here's the thing. This movie, it's got confusing morals beyond a lot of other things, like not just the ethical and philosophical points it brings up, but the morals are confused. It doesn't seem like it's totally against. In fact, it feels like it's a little sad that the robot-sister relationship doesn't work out.
Yeah.
It seems like it wishes it had happened. Mm-hmm. No. Mm-mm. No, Bicentennial Man. Mm-mm. We don't wish that. Mm-mm. Those are the wrong values to hold up. Mm-hmm. We could call it grooming, we could call it whatever we want, but it's wrong and it's icky. And no thank you, Bicentennial Man. Yes? Next?
Yeah, please.
I think there's a couple things we got to get down really fast. First of all, Andrew is definitely an android. Mm-hmm. When we start this film, he comes out of the box. It's frightening as all get out. Almost every 10 seconds, the movie is here to remind you it's about a robot. 3 robot laws. I got to mention them really quick.
Oh, okay.
We're not going to get into that too much for this film because, believe it or not, we have yet another robot film that also has the 3 laws of robotics in it as well. This is extremely roughly based off of Isaac Asimov's story Bicentennial Man, which had the same title.
His head and some of the things of the robot looks really nice. Like, we liked his profile a lot.
His hands.
Oh yeah, his hands were really cool. They were like gloved and it was really cool. And when he played the piano, it was really cool.
Yeah.
I like when robots play the piano. The eyebrows, they moved up and down, and that was cool. That was fun. Let's talk about Sam Neill.
Yes.
Sam Neill does a fantastic job in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
He was actually trying, which is sad.
As was Robin Williams.
They were both trying. They were great together.
As we said, it would be great if it was just the movie between the two of them. If that was the full movie, I'd be really pleased with that.
When the first movie
ends.
That
would be nice for a lot of reasons.
Yeah. No, we don't get that. But yeah, he's really, really important to the first movie. And gosh dang if he doesn't have a good character arc.
He does. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. He fully changes in many ways. And not just because we move forward in time, though we do.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's an interesting character. He's the dad that at the beginning of the... Oh, hi, Cat. His whole... Oh,
hi.
Friend.
Hi, friend.
Hi.
You coming up to be a friend? But he's here. There's a cat.
There's a cat. They'll hear him for sure, though.
Yeah, because he's in my mic area.
So the dad, he starts out being like this, I've just bought a robot because everyone's buying robots, right?
It's the hot new thing.
And then he slowly but surely sees the worth of the robot.
I'm not exactly sure what he bought the robot for. Hi, Sai.
He just says at one point, the kids say that he bought it because their neighbors bought one.
Oh, okay. Keeping up with the Joneses then.
Yeah.
Hi, Sai.
Yeah, good cat.
It's the best part. We gotta keep going.
I know. Then he like slowly starts to see, because the robot starts figuring out that it's got sentience. Mm-hmm. It starts making art. Mm-hmm. The dad sees that he's starting to make art, and he's like, robots aren't supposed to do that.
I mean, it's definitely clear to us because they go to the like classic working businessman, the head of the robot factory. They go there and everybody's just astounded that Andrew has the kinds of like mental capacities that he does. Robots are not supposed to be creative and have agency in their own consciousness. But the dad at this point has already decided that this is better than the reason he originally had the robot.
First time skip brings us to the dad has grown more as a person and he respects Andrew, which is a big step up from what he used to feel, which was just kind of, oh cool, my toaster does this. And now he's more like, it's a good toaster. Yeah. I like and respect that toaster.
Right?
For its weird quirks. What the hell is that? I don't know what that is. This movie is so long and so much happens in it. I can't remember half of the things that I'm supposed to. I took psychic damage watching this movie. I took real psychic damage. The time skip, the first one. Mm-hmm. So anyway, she's gonna get married to a human man. Please.
Don't marry your parent figure.
And the dad wants to give the robot a bank account and make him slightly his own person little by little in this segment. Mm-hmm. We don't invite the robot to sit down with us. We don't pull out a chair for him to sit down at the table with us. He's not quite there yet.
It's these slow moments where Andrew is expecting some kind of recognition of his increasing humanity, and it's not happening for him until it finally does at the end of this first movie.
Eventually they give him clothes. This is also when he gets his first face upgrade because he wants to be able to express his emotions more. Yeah. And he gets the terrifying teeth. He had teeth. They were just one long section. Two big teeth. Teeth haunt me. Oh God, so many things of this movie haunt me, but the teeth haunt me the most.
Yeah. The after party.
Right.
After the after party.
Right, after everyone's left the after party, and it's just the dad being kind of empty nest syndrome-ish. Before this point, we've seen Sir, the father, we've seen him as this strong male archetype, you know, up until this point. And then he shows this rare moment of vulnerability, and instead of like being upfronted about it or mad at the robot for trying to comfort him, no, they actually like talk about the man's feelings and let the emotions show and be okay with it, which is a really healthy and nice thing to see in a movie from 1999. Not that anyone saw this movie.
Andrew wanting to like buy his own freedom, the master-slave dialectic that's happening within this film is something we really do have to deal with. Hegel, in the Phenomenology of Spirit, articulates a philosophical argument that has been termed as the master-slave dialectic. In it, Hegel tries to formulate an objective truth about the self. He imagines that we see ourselves as the measure of all things, wherein, until we are confronted with another's consciousness, we cannot attain a level of self-awareness about our own point of view. Awareness requires, according to Hegel, the struggle between two consciousnesses. The victor of the struggle is accorded the position of master, who ironically does not recognize initially their own self-consciousness because of their victory, while the loser is cast as slave. The slave is aware of their enforced dependence, in the role of lesser than, a role wherein the master denotes the slave as a thing. In the dehumanizing process of being coded as object, the slave is capable of becoming fully cognizant of their limits, their finite position in the universe, and thus are self-conscious. Ultimately, the master also realizes their dependence on the slave in maintaining the dominant role the master holds. The cat sneezed. Thus creating a scenario where, as Hegel calls it, there is a double self-consciousness, where each person is aware of their mutual dependence on the other to help them shape their own awareness of self. In other words, we can only understand ourselves in relation to others. When we look at Bicentennial Man, we see a clear display of master versus slave, of two individuals battling it out to recognize whether or not Andrew has self-consciousness. Hegel's ironic twist plays out in the narrative, where, in being cast as object, Andrew carefully learns the limits of his own self and ultimately recognizes his own humanity. Andrew helps Sir recognize their mutually dependent roles. In doing so, Andrew, by redefining the social roles that he and Sir occupy, allows Sir to also find clearer insight into the constructedness of Sir's own identity.
Andrew doesn't refer to himself as Andrew or he or I. He calls himself one for the entire movie until he's finally free. So then Sam Neill dies.
Yeah.
Yep. Not really much else to say about it.
I don't know what to say.
No, that's about it, really.
This movie.
And that's when the first movie should have ended.
This first film, within the film, it's a Bildungsroman. It's learning, right? So it's just a narrative where someone comes of age and learns and understands something, which in this case, it's like learning and understanding like self-worth and, you know, the desire and the right for freedom.
There's a montage between the two movies. When I say that I have never cried in confusion before, I mean it. I've cried from sadness, from happiness, anger. I have never cried in confusion before. Like, legitimately, tears coming to my eyes and falling down my face, and I'm wiping them away because I'm so confused. And this movie has done this to me.
So anyway, we've got the montage of travels.
We meet female robot, who is the only female robot in the whole movie. She was female because she had boobs and high heels.
That's how you signify woman.
Oh, and earrings.
And it's not like the earrings were like you could change out the earrings. No, they were
part of her ears.
Yeah.
Just like the high heels were part of her feet.
Permanently female.
And I love her. I hated her at first, but I love her by the end of the movie.
Was very aggravating to begin with.
But she actually became the best part of the second movie. And Lake Placid guy. I don't remember the actor's name. I don't remember the character's name.
No.
We're just gonna refer to him as Lake Placid guy because he was in Lake Placid. He was the scientist guy who worshipped crocodiles as gods from the Lake Placid movie. Yeah, Lake Placid guy had a workshop and it was spooky. Andrew gets Robin Williams' face.
There we go. That sounds about right.
So he goes home and he sees what he thinks is the little girl that he took care of.
The little miss.
Yes. And she's like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "What do you mean, who am I? It's me. I got an upgrade." And she's like, "What?"
This is, by the way, where we get the romance. Why?
She looks exactly the same as Little Miss. It turns out that she is the granddaughter of Little Miss. He gets a dog, and you're like, are we going to have to watch the dog die on screen? Spoiler alert, no.
Andrew, he's no longer a slave. Now he's the
Yeah.
master. Yeah, good for him.
There's a lot of...
I'm salty about that part.
There's a lot of Chekhov's guns in this movie that are just kind of laying around, and no one ever even picks up a gun in the whole movie, and that should tell you what my metaphor is trying to be. So anyway, he takes the dog to
Portia. Her house.
Honda Civic's house. So we're at Honda Civic's house.
Oh.
And this is where Honda Civic goes, "You're funny." And then Little Miss dies.
This is an interesting scene.
In the Star Trek hospital.
They're like, she wants to talk to you. They really don't want to invite Andrew in, by the way, to this scenario. But he's there because, Little Miss has asked for him. So he goes in, and Little Miss says her bit to him. And after she says her bit to him, then immediately she dies. That's the beginning of the whole, like, I could make myself more of a human now.
Yes, because then he realized that all of his loved ones will die in front of him because he is an immortal robot.
Oh.
We don't got time. Anyway, right.
You know who has time? Bicentennial Man.
I'm so done with
He's got 200 years. It's bicentennial. 200 years. That's what he's got.
I am wounded. I am wounded by this movie. It's after she says she's getting engaged that Bicentennial Man himself says, oh, I need to be more human for her to love me.
Because also, I guess it's not okay to just, like, love something that's totally different than yourself. No, he has to try and conform and create, like, a version of himself that's more similar. I mean, he's already changed himself quite a bit at that point. Mm-hmm. He's got a human face and everything.
Mm-hmm. But he did that for himself. He did that for himself.
Right.
Everything past this point is him changing himself for this girl. Not a good relationship. So anyway, then he goes to Lake Placid Man. Mm-hmm. And is like, Lake Placid Man, I would like to have real organs. I've downloaded every single medical document in existence into my brain, and I have come up with schematics to make me more human.
Okay, really quickly, here's the thing. 1999, we're, like, on the verge of Y2K.
Yep.
We know what the internet is. Why is he this, like, autonomous, not interfaced, not interconnected? There's no... the internet.
So then he gets real people, or... no, he doesn't get real people, or... He makes
artificial
organs.
Yeah.
And, it's kind of spooky looking.
Yes.
Really spooky looking, actually.
Actually, yes.
Yeah. There's a lot of oddly scary moments in this movie. There's a weird, like, third movie happening, and it is horror. It is in the background, and it is not really, like, you gotta look for it, but it's there.
It's confusing, because if we just used different music, it would become horror.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. We have robots that are menacingly in the background. We have, like, someone getting their face taken off. We have someone's face being molded into a face.
Mushed on.
We have organs in jars.
Oh,
we
yeah.
have multiple eyes.
Oh, so many eyes.
Just sitting there. We see the organs moving on their own, not attached to anything. We see the inside of the robot with the organs.
like an operation scene.
Andrew kills the female robot off screen.
That's true.
And she screams bloody murder because she's being murdered with a drill, and it's terrifying.
I think it's supposed to be comedy.
And he does it for no other reason than she was annoying him a little too much. A little too much. A little too much horror in this movie.
It's just confusing.
As all things in this movie are. I just want to go home. So anyway, he gets the Twinkie bar, and he's immediately like, "Girl, yo, Portia, hit me up, haha." And they have the relations. She calls off her wedding.
Good for her. That's probably the right choice at that point.
Yeah, true.
But this is sort of the launching point, is it not, of the legal stuff?
It is the launching point of the legal stuff, because then she's like, I want to have the life with you. I want to have the marriage with you. But you're, you know. We see the progression of time in this movie, and it really does feel like it's the beginning of the Star Trek universe.
Could be.
But yeah, it feels like that. It feels like a Star Trek council has come together.
The robot wants to be considered a human.
Yes.
Wants to have the legal rights of a human.
He wants to marry.
Right, which would include marriage, right?
Mm-hmm. Remember, by this point, he has almost completely replaced his robot parts with artificial human parts. The only thing that he probably hasn't touched at all is the brain, because that's what keeps him him. Mm-hmm. And that's actually brought up in their argument. But he has human-esque skin. He's got human-esque eyes and organs. So it really, really does start skewing the line of, is he a robot? Is he a cyborg? Is he human? It really...
I'm going to say that's the effect of a writer who's really thinking about the ethical issues surrounding robots.
Andrew goes, they want me to be human? Then by golly, I'll be human. And he puts some human blood in him.
Not sure where that comes from. This is kind of the darkness again.
And he slowly starts dying because his robotic system can't actually handle it. So then the next time we see him, he's old.
So old.
And they're like, well, you're old now. I guess that does mean that you age, which doesn't make you immortal anymore.
So then they come back to him and they're like, oh, okay, we've decided that you get to be, and as she's about to say human, no, flatline, he's gone.
He's gone.
He's just gone. Mm-hmm. He doesn't get to hear that he's a human. And
that they accept his marriage as legal, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Portia's still alive. This is our third on-screen death. Girl robot, whose name is not Galactica, and I don't remember her name Galactica or Galatia or whatever her name is, the robot girl. She is a robot through and through this whole movie. Mm-hmm. She is Andrew and Portia's nurse. We're told nothing about if she's fully human like Andrew became, if she's got the human blood that makes her age, if she's got robot guts,
or she's just got skin
and
over
she's got
a
skin
robot.
on over it. We do know that she breaks the robot rule.
She breaks law number 1.
Portia, after hearing the news that their marriage is accepted, still salty, and she's like, we did it, and because Andrew's dead.
Yeah, next to her.
And Portia's just like, I guess I'll die.
It was a weird reaction, to be honest.
And then she's like, Galatia, or whatever your robot name is, I need you to turn off my life support now. And Glacia's like, yeah, you got it.
I don't know what this means. I changed my hair.
Everything's just this much different.
It's great.
Because the recording went. Wednesday, there was a ghost. A straight up spectral being shows up in this movie. We know it's a ghost and not like a hallucination or just imagination, because the camera pans from looking at Andrew and then panning over to the ghost. The ghost says his lines, and then we pan back over to Andrew and he says a line, and then it's a wide shot and the chair's empty. That is classic ghost filmography. It is one of the top 3. Yes.
Most confusing moments in this film.
Ghost, robot breaking robot rule.
I'd say that's the most confusing.
Yes, it is. Immortality. No. 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 No.
We see Andrew, he wants to be recognized as intelligent, as having agency, he wants autonomy, he wants legal freedoms, right? And to get those things, we see him choosing to conform into something that I don't know if he would make those choices to have those items added to himself, like more biologically based organs and things, if that wasn't the precursor then to then getting legal rights and recognition. Mm-hmm. And that's sort of the problem. It's not that if Andrew wants to say, like, I feel like a human, I'm not saying then he shouldn't be recognized as a human. Sure, go ahead and recognize him as a human and make him a legal human. I think the film trips itself up in the parts where we see him conforming because that's the only way he feels he's going to get the recognition.
Mm-hmm. And he doesn't actually give himself the organs until he realizes that in order for him to be with the human woman that he loves, he needs them.
Again, if he wanted those organs or whatever because he felt internally like he needed them to feel complete, to feel like himself, mm-hmm. fine, that'd be great. Mm-hmm. I'd really appreciate that message.
Yeah.
I just don't know if that's exactly what we're getting out of the movie. It's mixed messages at the end.
It's really mixed messages. Everything's confusing about the end. The ending is awful. That was The Bicentennial Man.
1999.
Let's stop talking about this movie now. Party after everyone's...
Stop eating the plant.
No!
No bad sai-sai.
Stop.
Sai-sai.
Jesus. Where was I? I'm thirsty.
Mm-hmm. That was us drinking together, by the way.
I know, it was hilarious.
It's a question for you.
I hate time travel so much, and this movie doesn't have time travel, but I feel like I'm time traveling in this movie. Yeah. No, Wednesday.
No?
No.
What?
We're not there yet.
What else happens?
You forgot the part where...
What else happens in this movie?
And then that's completely thrown out the window because the old white man
says no.
No, I say.
No.
He doesn't just say no. He says, no, but you're immortal. Sorry.
Oh, that's right.
I haven't been in this kind of hysterics since I watched Spider-Man 3. I can't...
It's like we were heading down a road, and then they're like, but sharp corner here. No, folks, we're just different route completely. This is, your argument's invalid because immortal.
Oh my god.
What? Like, what?